Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men. Men are like hunters. They chase what they can't quite have. And the moment you start chasing them, you've lost your power. Now, I'm not talking about playing games for the sake of games. I'm talking about understanding the dynamics of attraction. Men are extremely attracted to women who detach. And when I say detach, I don't mean cold. I mean confident. I mean composed. I mean the kind of woman who doesn't beg for attention, but still commands it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men and women and the mysterious ways attraction works. I'm going to break it down for you, and I want you to listen carefully because this is real talk. Men are naturally hunters. They're wired to chase, to pursue, to feel like they've earned something. And the moment a woman starts chasing him, the moment she overinvests, texts too much, calls too much, or hangs around too much, that natural attraction starts to fade. That's why confidence through detachment is one of the most magnetic qualities a woman can have. It's a power move, but it's subtle. It's not about playing games. It's about showing up as a whole, complete woman who doesn't need anyone else to define her worth. Let me paint the picture for you. Think about a woman who is confident, not arrogant, not trying too hard, but confident in herself. She knows who she is. She knows her value. She doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't grovel for affection, and she doesn't over-explain herself. She's composed, she's poised, and she's living her life. She has her own circle of friends, her own hobbies, her own goals. She's working on herself, she's growing, she's thriving, and she's doing all of this without constantly worrying about what he's doing or whether he's thinking about her. And here's the thing, men notice that. Men are drawn to that like bees to honey because it signals strength, independence, and self-respect. A man doesn't want a woman who is desperate or needy. He wants a woman who challenges him, who inspires him, who makes him want to step up. You see, confidence through detachment isn't about being cold-hearted. It's about understanding your own value and refusing to settle for anything less than respect. It's about creating a space where a man has to earn your time, your attention, and your energy. It's about letting him pursue you because you are worth pursuing. And when you do that, something magical happens. Men become more attentive. They start noticing the little things, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you handle your life. They realize that your affection isn't something that's freely given. It's something earned. And that's powerful. That's magnetic. That's irresistible. Think about it like this. When you overextend yourself, when you were always available, when you're always trying to prove yourself, you remove the mystery, you remove the challenge. And men, by their nature, are drawn to mystery and challenge. Confidence through detachment creates that intrigue. It's not about ignoring a man or playing games. It's about valuing yourself enough to know that your happiness is not dependent on his attention. You show him that your life is full, vibrant, and exciting without him being the center of it. And when he sees that, it sparks something inside of him. He starts to realize, wow, she's got her own world. She's not waiting around for me. I got to step up if I want to be part of it. Now, let's get real for a second. Many women don't understand this. They think that being emotionally available all the time, texting first, responding immediately, showing every feeling, they think that's love. But men see it differently. Men respect strength. They respect independence. They respect a woman who knows she's in control of her own life and her own emotions. Confidence through detachment is the ultimate way to show that. It says without words, I am complete. I am whole. I do not need you to validate me, but if you want to be part of my world, you better bring your best. And men respond to that every single time. This isn't about manipulation. This isn't about being distant just to make him chase you. It's about mastery of yourself, your emotions, and your energy. When you detach, you're not losing him. You're giving him the opportunity to see you in your full value. You're giving him a chance to rise to the occasion, to prove himself worthy of your time and attention. And trust me, when a man sees that a woman is confident and detached in the right way, It triggers something primal inside of him. It makes him want to pursue, protect, and provide in ways he wouldn't if he thought he already had it all. Ladies, listen to me. The most confident women I've ever seen in relationships are the ones who understand this principle. They live their lives fully, they love themselves fiercely, and they don't put their self-worth in a man's hands. They know that their happiness comes from within, not from external validation. And here's the beauty of it. The men they want the most don't just notice them, they chase them, they pursue them, they invest in them. And that's exactly what you want, because attraction works best when it's mutual, when it's earned, and when it's rooted in respect and admiration. Confidence through detachment is a skill. It's an art. And the best part, it's completely under your control. You don't need to wait for him to change. You don't need to wait for him to text first or call first. You focus on yourself. You invest in your dreams, your goals, your passions. You carry yourself with grace and dignity. And the men who are truly worthy of your time will notice. They'll be drawn to your strength. They'll be inspired by your independence. They'll want to earn your affection because they know it's not given freely, it's respected. So remember this, ladies, detachment is not rejection. It's not being unkind or uncaring. It's confidence in action. It's showing a man that you are complete, whole, and valuable. And when a man sees that, he can't help but be drawn to you. He will chase you. He will pursue you. He will invest in you. And all it took was for you to stand firm in your confidence and detach from the need for constant validation. That's the power, that's the attraction, and that's what makes men extremely drawn to women who master this principle.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men and the way their minds work when it comes to attraction.
You see, men are wired to chase. It's in their DNA. They're hunters by nature. And when they can't figure something out, when something about a woman is mysterious, it lights a fire inside of them that nothing else can. And that's exactly why mystery creates curiosity. And curiosity creates desire. I'm not talking about playing games or being fake. I'm talking about showing up as a woman who has depth, who has layers, who is not easily understood, and who refuses to reveal everything all at once. When you do that, men can't help themselves. They are drawn to you like a magnet. Now think about a woman who is completely transparent all the time. She tells him everything she's feeling, everything she's thinking. She shares every detail of her life immediately. She answers every text within seconds. She's always available. She's constantly explaining herself. And here's what happens. Men lose interest. They stop wondering about her. They stop wondering what she's thinking. They stop feeling the thrill of the chase. There's no mystery. There's no intrigue. There's no spark. Mystery creates that spark. It creates a space for him to be curious, to wonder, to want to dig deeper, and to ultimately invest his time and energy to understand you. A woman who has mystery doesn't have to try too hard to be interesting. She has her own life, her own passions, her own experiences. She's not desperate to impress or constantly seeking approval. She shows glimpses of her world, her personality, and her mind, but she doesn't give it all away. And men notice that. They can't quite figure her out, and that keeps their attention. They start thinking about her when she's not around. They start wondering what she's doing, who she's with, and what makes her tick. And let me tell you, curiosity is a powerful tool of attraction. It keeps a man invested because he wants to uncover the layers of a woman, not because she's playing games, but because she's a woman of substance. Here's the thing about mystery. It creates a sense of value. When a man knows that your attention is not freely given, when he realizes that he has to earn it, it increases your worth in his eyes. Men are naturally inclined to pursue what is challenging, to value what requires effort. A woman who is mysterious, who doesn't lay everything out on the table immediately, makes him work for it. And when he works for it, when he invests his time and energy, he values you more. That's just human nature. The harder something is to get, the more precious it becomes. And a woman who embraces her mystery becomes priceless in the eyes of the man who wants her. Now let me make something very clear. Mystery is not about being cold or distant. It's not about ignoring a man or playing mind games. It's about being authentic while keeping some depth and layers that he has to discover over time. It's about being a whole person who has her own life and who doesn't revolve entirely around him. It's about creating a sense of intrigue that naturally draws a man in without forcing him or manipulating him. When you're mysterious in the right way, a man becomes genuinely interested in knowing you on a deeper level. And that level of interest is far stronger, indeed more lasting than anything superficial. Ladies, think about the women who have this kind of effect. The ones who walk into a room and every man's head turns. The ones who smile, laugh, and engage, but there's always something just out of reach. They don't reveal everything about themselves immediately. They don't overshare. They let their actions, their energy, and their presence do the talking. And men can't stop thinking about them. That's the power of mystery. That's the power of curiosity. And when a man is curious about you, he's mentally and emotionally investing in you before you even realize it. Here's the reality. If you want a man to be captivated by you, to chase you, to genuinely desire your presence, you have to understand that mystery is a magnet. Men are drawn to women they can't fully figure out, who keep them guessing, who are confident enough to have a life outside of him. You don't have to be overly complicated or difficult, but you do need to maintain boundaries, and you need to avoid giving everything away too quickly. Keep him intrigued, keep him guessing, and watch how he becomes more attentive, more invested, and more committed. And here's another thing. Mystery makes a woman unforgettable. Men remember the women who challenge them in the right ways. Men remember the women who make them wonder, who make them curious, who make them want to be better just to understand them. When a woman reveals herself slowly, when she maintains that sense of mystery, she becomes unforgettable. She becomes a woman who occupies a man's thoughts even when she's not around. And that is exactly what you want, because men chase what they cannot forget. Ladies, you have to remember that mystery is not about deception. It's about being self-aware, self-assured, and whole. It's about recognizing that your time, your attention, and your affection are valuable. It's about allowing a man to experience your depth gradually so that he develops a real connection with the real you, not a version of you that's immediately available or predictable. That slow reveal, that air of intrigue, that controlled exposure of your personality, your thoughts, your desires. That's what keeps him hooked. That's what keeps him interested. And that's what makes him pursue you relentlessly. So understand this. Mystery is one of the most powerful tools of attraction a woman can wield. It draws curiosity, it sparks desire, it increases your value, and it makes men work for your attention and affection. It's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about living your life fully, maintaining your boundaries, and allowing a man to discover you layer by layer. And when he does, he becomes invested in you in ways that no other approach can create. Ladies, embrace your mystery, protect your layers, and watch how a man becomes obsessed with knowing you, understanding you, and being part of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about something that too many women overlook when it comes to attraction and relationships. I'm talking about self-worth and independence, and how these two qualities can completely change the way men see you. Now listen to me carefully. Men are drawn to women who know their own value, who have their own life, and who don't make their happiness dependent on anyone else. When a woman has self-worth and independence, she becomes magnetic, irresistible, and unforgettable. And here's the truth. A man will respect and pursue a woman who is whole and complete in herself far more than a woman who is constantly seeking validation or approval. Now, think about what self-worth really means. It means knowing that you are valuable, that you deserve respect, that you don't settle for less than you deserve. It's about understanding that your time, your energy, and your love are precious commodities, and they should be given to someone who is worthy. Women with self-worth don't accept mistreatment, they don't tolerate being ignored, and they don't beg for attention. They understand that love is a two-way street and that they deserve to be cherished, respected, and pursued. And men notice this. Men see a woman who knows her value, and it challenges them in the right way. It sparks respect, admiration, and desire all at once. Independence is just as important. Independence means that your happiness does not revolve around a man. You have your own friends, your own hobbies, your own goals, and your own ambitions. You are not waiting for him to call, text, or validate you. You live a full and exciting life whether he is in it or not. And when a man sees that, he can't help but be drawn to you. There's something incredibly attractive about a woman who doesn't need a man to define her worth, but who is open to sharing her life with the right person. Independence communicates strength, stability, and maturity. It tells a man that he is entering the life of a woman who is complete, and that is something worth pursuing. Here's the thing. Many women make the mistake of giving themselves away too quickly. They compromise their values. They overextend their time and attention. They prioritize his happiness over their own. And in doing so, they send the message that they don't fully value themselves. And when a man senses that, it diminishes attraction. Men are naturally drawn to women who challenge them in positive ways, who have standards, who maintain boundaries, and who are unapologetically themselves. Self-worth and independence are powerful because they create that challenge naturally, without manipulation or games. A woman who has these qualities commands respect and sets the tone for the relationship. From the very beginning, think about it like this. A woman who is independent and values herself does not beg for love or attention. She does not chase a man who is not willing to show up. She knows that she has options, that she is complete on her own, and that the right man will recognize her worth and make the effort to be part of her life. And when that effort is made, it's genuine, it's real, it's based on respect and admiration rather than convenience or obligation. That is the kind of connection that lasts. That is the kind of connection that men are naturally drawn to because it aligns with their desire to feel needed, appreciated, and challenged in the right way. Self-worth and independence also create boundaries, and boundaries are incredibly attractive. When a woman knows her value, she sets clear limits on what she will tolerate. She does not allow herself to be mistreated, ignored, or disrespected. She communicates her needs clearly and confidently, and she holds her ground. Men are wired to respond to strength and integrity. When they see a woman who respects herself enough to maintain boundaries, they see her as a prize worth pursuing. They see her as someone who is not easily won, someone whose love and attention are precious, and that only increases their desire to be part of her world. Ladies, self-worth and independence also foster confidence, and confidence is one of the most powerful attractors in the world. When a woman knows her value and lives independently, she radiates a quiet strength that men can't ignore. She carries herself with grace, poise, and dignity. She makes decisions based on what is right for her, not based on fear or the desire to please others. And men notice this immediately. They are drawn to it. They respect it. They chase it, because nothing makes a woman more desirable than a combination of self-respect, confidence, and independence. And let me tell you, when you embrace these qualities, you set the tone for every relationship you have. You teach men how to treat you. You show them that love and respect are not optional. They are essential. You create a dynamic where a man must rise to your level, must invest in you, and must be fully present to earn your affection. And that dynamic is powerful because it ensures that the connections you build are genuine, balanced, and rooted in mutual respect. So ladies, understand this. Self-worth and independence are not selfish. They are not barriers to love. They are the foundation of attraction, the key to maintaining respect, and the secret to being pursued by the kind of man who truly values you. When you embrace your worth, cultivate your independence, and refuse to settle for less than you deserve, men will notice. They will be drawn to you. They will invest in you, and they will respect the life you have built for yourself. That is the power of knowing your value and living independently, and it is one of the most magnetic qualities a woman can possess. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most women don't fully understand when it comes to attraction and relationships. Men are extremely drawn to women who can control their emotions. I'm talking about emotional mastery, not being cold or distant, not playing games, but having the ability to stay composed, confident, and calm in situations where most people would panic, overreact, or lose control. Emotional control is powerful because it communicates strength, stability, and self-respect. And let me tell you, men notice that. They are drawn to it. They are captivated by it. It makes them respect you, value you, and pursue you in ways they wouldn't if they thought they could manipulate or take advantage of your emotions. Now think about the typical situation in a relationship where emotions run high. Maybe he doesn't call when you expect him to. Maybe he's late for a date. Maybe he says something that annoys or frustrates you. Many women respond immediately. They call, they text, they argue, they vent their frustration. And what happens? Men feel pressured, overwhelmed, and often they pull away. But a woman who has emotional control responds differently. She pauses, she takes a breath, she maintains her composure. She doesn't overreact, she doesn't give away her power. And men are drawn to that because it communicates something very important. She is in control of herself, and she does not allow anyone to dictate her emotional state. That level of maturity is magnetic. Emotional control also communicates confidence. A woman who manages her feelings effectively shows that she is secure in herself. She doesn't need constant validation. She doesn't need him to prove his love every second. She can handle situations with grace, and that is incredibly attractive to men. Men are drawn to women who are emotionally stable because it makes them feel safe, respected, and challenged in the right ways. When a woman shows that she can control her emotions, she creates an environment where a man wants to step up, to invest, to pursue, and to show his best self. That is the power of emotional control. It shapes the dynamic between a man and a woman without her ever having to say a word. Let me break it down even further. Emotional control is not about bottling up your feelings or pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing how and when to express your emotions. It's about responding with intention rather than reacting impulsively. For example, if a man disappoints you, instead of lashing out, you calmly assess the situation, you maintain your dignity, and you address it in a measured, respectful way. Men are drawn to that because they recognize it as strength. They recognize that this woman is not easy to manipulate, not easy to upset, and not easy to take for granted. And that draws them closer because they realize that if they want to be part of her life, they need to bring their best. Here's another thing. Emotional control creates attraction because it fosters respect. Men respect women who can manage themselves. They respect women who don't beg, who don't whine, and who don't overreact to every little thing. Emotional control communicates without words, I am in charge of myself. I am not dependent on you for my happiness, and I will not let you disrespect me or my boundaries. That respect is powerful, and it triggers a man's natural desire to protect, pursue, and cherish you. Emotional control is not just attractive, it's commanding. It makes men pay attention in ways they don't with women who are reactive, needy, or emotionally volatile. And let's not forget, emotional control allows a woman to set the tone in the relationship. When you can manage your feelings, you create a stable, positive environment where a man feels challenged but not threatened. You don't let him walk all over you. You don't allow drama to dominate, and you don't give your power away through impulsive reactions. Men are naturally drawn to women who carry themselves with this kind of calm authority because it shows that they are dealing with someone of substance, someone whose love, attention, and respect are earned, not freely given. That's magnetic. That's irresistible. That's the kind of woman men cannot forget. Emotional control also keeps a man thinking about you. When a woman doesn't overreact, she leaves a little mystery in the air. Men wonder, what is she thinking? How does she feel? How does she handle challenges? That curiosity keeps him engaged, mentally invested, and even more attracted. Emotional control allows you to influence a man's behavior naturally. You don't have to yell, plead, or manipulate. You simply hold your composure, and he responds to that energy. That's power. That's influence. That's the kind of magnetic presence that keeps a man coming back again and again, ladies. Understand this. Emotional control is a skill, a discipline, and a sign of true self-respect. It is one of the most powerful tools a woman can use to attract and maintain a high-quality man. When you are in control of your emotions, you don't chase, you don't beg, you don't overexpose yourself. You maintain your value, and men are drawn to that. They see strength. They see independence. They see a woman who will not settle for less than she deserves, and that makes them pursue her all the more. And here's the truth. Women who master emotional control create relationships on their own terms. They teach men how to behave, how to respect them, and how to invest in them. They attract men who are serious, who are willing to rise to the occasion, and who genuinely value them for who they are. That is the power of emotional control. That is the magnetism that men cannot resist. That is what makes a woman unforgettable. When you learn to master your emotions, you learn to attract the right kind of man, the kind who will chase you, respect you, and never take you for granted.